Recently, my test team has been experimenting with loop strategies inspired by the Digimon Galaxy loop concepts, aiming to skip an opponent's turn. The Mirage concept has started gaining traction in social media groups, but there's still more loops to uncover and discuss. Today we'll be discussing the starting point that sparked the possibility of these problems to even begin with. Let's go ahead and dive right on in. Also, if you guys enjoyed this content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It lets me know I'm going in the right direction when I see y'all's support on these types of videos. Let's go ahead and discuss. The first instance of turn skipping from a one-sided board interaction was introduced with the promo Zubamon. This card enabled two crucial actions simultaneously. First, it would tuck itself underneath a Digimon, typically your Chronomon or Lunamon, to get your loop started. Then its second effect allowing you to gain 2 memory if you had a Legends Arm piece. At the same time, this was the most efficient and compact turn skip engine with minimal setup that we had available. Once you had the Sayoko Tamer, a Legends Arm Digimon, and one of the Light Claw Night Fang rookies on the field, the loop was ready to go. This loop was so efficient and was such a problem that we actually had our first emergency ban lists, quote unquote, during the winter holiday. So moving on to the current day in the current format, we've had the Dog Walk or Mirage Loop turn skip start popping up more recently, especially in DCGO. And as I mentioned in the previous video, if you haven't seen that yet, give it a watch. But the top 4 match of the Grand Asian Open of Galaxy Box using Mirage inspired me to try out the new deck. It was a refreshing way with a new engine to play a deck I already been playing for a format and a half. And honestly, BT11 Mirage Gagumon is such a strong card, and I can probably make a video on why itself should have probably been on that ban list as well, especially since its effect is all turns. But that's going to be for another day. And I want to really emphasize on the inspiration my team and I took to looking back at Galaxy Box and then realizing the Sayoko Tamer still existed. We wanted to think, how could we force a draw on our opponent's turn to proc that all turns effect? And we were looking at the EX4 Gao, we knew its on-play worked, but we didn't know how to get that underneath Lunamon until Demolish mentioned the Homer Tamer. And once we saw the Homer Tamer, we knew this deck was ready and we can start turn skipping. I want to point out still that Mirage is definitely one of the strongest cards we've had in the Digimon TCG, especially the fact that it's an all-turns floodgate to gain memory. It really punishes decks that don't have a way to optionally search, because a lot of the card draw we have from effects is mandatory. It's not an up to 0 clause because Digimon requires at least 1 for any up to effect. And realistically, the Mirage Loop is the easiest turn skip we have available at the moment. So people say, and asking, let's just extend the pair ban to include Mirage Gagumon or ban Mirage Gagumon outright. Well, the issue is we still have other loops that are available in the game, albeit they're a little weaker. We still have issues with future card design. So in the background of this video, behind the graphics, I have another turn skipping loop going on that uses cards like Ignitemon with the ESS or Evolution Source skill of an all turns to gain memory when the Digimon's played. Now, you can use different ways of tucking Digimon. You can use Homer like we did before, or you can utilize the Zubamon from, I think it's like EX6, that can use its main effect to go underneath a Digimon. So you'll tuck underneath a rookie like Lunamon, then your loop's live again. And like I said, it is more pieces and you can get the loop going, but the fact that it exists is still an issue. So I've also seen people ask, how about we just errata the Tamer to only work for Light Fang and Nightclaw cards? And this is a valid conversation, but there's still a loop on our hands. We can use Homer to tuck a Lunamon under a Lunamon, using the Ignitemon line again, gaining memory, skipping an opponent's turn at the start of their turn. So this is where I want to emphasize where the problem really stems. It's from the Sayoko Tamer having one of the very few effects to use an effect at the start of an opponent's turn. The only other card I believe is Quantumon that has an effect, but it's not something that plays out with Digimon, it's just a protection. So any DNA deck uses end of turn to DNA Digivolve. The Sayoko Tamer uses start of opponent's turn to DNA Digivolve. Albeit, I don't think I've ever seen anyone use it for the effects like that. It is a possibility, but I think this is where the issue really stems. Start of opponent's turn is a timing before the unsuspend phase, before drawing for turn, before main phase ever happens, and you can rarely interact with it aside from memory fixers and memory plussers. So, what am I suggesting to potentially fix this issue? Because the timing is start of opponent's turn, like I said, that's where the issue really comes from. If anyone who's not aware or doesn't play, the One Piece TCG has a ban list just like Digimon. However, they also straight up ban leaders. But to keep the spirit of the decks intact in the game and to have a way to functionally play the deck still, they did a promo retrain, like for Sakazuki and Red Purple Law. They banned the original leaders, but made a functional replacement. It's a retrain, it's a lot worse, but the idea that you have one that exists in the game is a really cool way to keep the decks alive with some capacity. So maybe we make a promo retrain to Sayoko Tamer that says end of turn DNA Digivolve, and maybe you have more synergy for Light Fang Nightclaw decks, and you only specify those traits as well. And I don't mind it being a way to improve those decks, but the fact that we have something to start of opponent's turn is still such a big issue in the game. I appreciate you guys watching through the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot to me to see the support for these types of videos to let me know you guys enjoy this type of content. With that being said, take care y'all, and have a nice one.